Marvel Zombies, Protagonist becomes world's strongest hero. Episode 91. After eating the night, Yibai left a shadow in his house to pretend to be sick, and the body used Hitomi to leave Konoha, find a place where no one was, and began to adapt to the various ninjutsu mastered by Kakashi's identity. He didn't return until it was dark. After a quick period of adaptation, all of Kakashi's abilities, including combat experience, were perfectly inherited by him. Yibai said that he was a man who wanted to break the curse of Wufeng. He is not in a hurry to leave Konoha, he is still wounded now, and no one will force him to do a task while staying in Konoha, so let's wait for the injury to be ready. Back home, dissolve the shadow doppelganger. The memories of the shadow avatar flooded into Yibai's mind, letting him know that Akai had visited him at home yesterday evening, and there was nothing else to care about. He is not sleepy for a night, in fact, now he will never sleep and will not feel sleepy. The Philosopher's Stone plugin is so powerful. Do not eat and starve or die, do not sleep is fine, it is like a perpetual motion machine loaded on a person. It is worthy of the ultimate product of alchemy, worthy of the name. As the sky grew dark, the ninjas woke up early and gathered around the table waiting for feeding. As soon as he saw this group of dogs with wisdom to speak, Yibai would always have black lines all over his head. After feeding Play Plus and eating well-fed dogs, they run out of their homes in droves and start walking down the street, hoping they get lost and never find their way home. With a grumbling in his heart, Yibai sat cross-kneeled on the sofa in the living room, using the sage's ring to launch alchemy and analyze the chakra in his body. As we all know, chakra is just a simple energy without a change in nature, and does not have an attribute effect, and after adding attribute changes, it will become the 7 attributes of fire, earth, wind, thunder, water, yin and yang. Inherited from Kakashi's nature change ability, Yibai can achieve simple attribute transformation of all attributes without cultivation, especially the thunder attribute, which can carry out the ultimate attribute transformation. Constantly changing chakra's attributes, Yibai used alchemy to gradually analyze chakra's state under different attributes. Having determined this, he could completely replace the process of attribute transformation with more efficient alchemy, and then alchemy gave form changes to form the ninjutsu he needed. This has the advantage of omitting the printing step altogether and turning the entire ninjutsu into an instantaneous mode without sealing. He stretched out his hand, put a spiral on his hand, and then added the change in the nature of the wind attribute, and gradually, the wind escape spiral shuriken was easily condensed. This process chakra only plays the function of providing energy for ninjutsu, and true ninjutsu is alchemy, which is why he can easily use the spiral hand that he can't do. Even if you don't enter the immortal mode, this ninjutsu will not hurt yourself under the perfect control of alchemy. It can be said that the ninjutsu system can make the use of ninjutsu extremely simple. The spiral shuriken rotating at high speed formed a violent wind, blowing the house into chaos. Yibai scattered this technique and began to try the change of the nature of the yang attribute. If you can exert this attribute to the extreme, even if there is no Azura and 1,000 hands bloodline, you can develop your own yang power, and you can let the eyes evolve when you can't get it. According to the Hokage worldview, yin and yang represent spiritual power and physical strength respectively, and yin dun is, to put it bluntly, the spiritual will is to use chakra as the energy to form such as the immortal Amaterasu, the physical Susanoo, the illusion that interferes with the will of others, the control of one's own shadow, and even the will to rewrite reality at the limit, such as Izanagi. Yang dun is the development of various potentials of one's own body, such as medical ninjutsu, immortal body, monster power fist, body multiplication, white deformation imitation, etc. all belong to this category. Theoretically, yin and yang have developed to the extreme, and even if there is no corresponding bloodline, these abilities can be used. Yibai's ability is inherited from Kakashi. Kakashi is not proficient in the secret art of yin and yang attributes, but it is still barely possible to transform chakra into these two aspects. As long as chakra brings this attribute, Yibai can use alchemy to analyze it and strengthen it to the extreme. It took him more than an hour to finally figure out the yang attribute chakra, and used alchemy to transform all his chakra into the yang attribute. Yang attribute moisturizes every cell of the body, the whole body cells are activated at this moment, the physical fitness is temporarily enhanced several times, not to mention, in this state, you can easily enter the immortal mode. The body automatically absorbs the surrounding natural energy into the body, without deliberately controlling the natural energy. Its own chakra recovery speed is accelerated, almost not exhausted. Even if the body is injured, the injury can heal quickly, almost equivalent to the infinite endurance of the undead. It feels similar to the characteristics that the Philosopher's Stone gives itself. Yibai carefully analyzed the natural energy, wanting to know whether it was the energy unique to the fire shadow world, or something that existed in any world. If it was the latter, you could cultivate it in depth, otherwise don't bother cultivating the immortal mode, it would be meaningless. After analyzing through alchemy for more than an hour, Yibai breathed a sigh of relief. The natural energy required by the immortal mode is similar to the cosmic vitality in the concept of Dragon Ball. born in every life in the world, microorganisms, plants, animals, insects, and even people, the planet itself are all producing such power all the time. Different worldviews may have different names, but it is indeed a universal force. It's a pity that the body of the immortal does not promote the evolution of the eyes, and there is no feeling at all. It seems that Uchiha's kaleidoscope is not a simple chakra that can promote evolution, and it is necessary to complete the bloodline genes of the 6 sons Azura to do so. Get the yang done, the next is yin done. Throughout the day, he was familiar with yin and yang at home, and did nothing else. While eating a meal, Yibai had a whim that instead of developing ninjutsu here and fusing bloodstains, it was better to learn from the D&D illusion system that Veronica had traded for her. Illusion magic, the effect of which can almost be simulated with yin, such as the shadow spell, which is to use the will to drive magic to simulate various magic effects, which is very gloomy. This system also has a dream building technique, which can weave dreams like entering the inception space, and the dream time flows faster than the material world, and in the dream, there is more time for practice. I didn't practice this before, because it was due to my own talent problem, and the learning efficiency would not be very high, but with the talent of chakra, I believe it will not be difficult to practice. So after eating the evening meal, Yibai took out the magic book from Wanda, who was still in the pocket space, and began to learn from it. Episode 92, half a month passed imperceptibly. And he spends more time in his dreams. To be honest, using the longer time in the dream for learning and ability development is really efficient, and sleeping and cultivating are not wrong. Not only did he learn a lot of D&D system illusions, but he even managed to fuse 2 different nature chakra attributes to produce bleeding succession boundaries. Such as fire plus scorching, fire plus melting, fire plus boiling, earth plus wind magnetic escape, wind plus ice escape, earth plus wood done, and so on. It's a pity that he can't do the fusion of the 3 attributes, and the fusion of nature cannot be imagined in a dream, and can only be carried out in reality. The practice of bloodstains eliminated is easy to blow itself up if you are not careful, which is why it is so slow. Now, half a month has passed, Yibai can't continue to pretend to be sick, and pretending to do so will make him look very strange. On this day, Mayome came to visit him at his home, and when he saw that he was almost fine, he said to him, "Kakashi, the students of this class of ninja schools will graduate in half a month, and there have been no tasks recently. I hope you quit the dark department and lead the team to Shinobu for a while. It will always come," Yibai promised on the surface, but in fact, he was ready to leave Konoha. Seeing that he agreed, the kind-faced 3 generations left. Yibai returned to the bedroom. He used alchemy, refined a Kakashi puppet, replaced it with the Obito Sharingan that he took off yesterday, and then killed the puppet, disguising the scene as suicide. When the body was found, Kakashi would be dead in the eyes of others. That's right, he was not going to defect, he was going to fake his death. This saves you a lot of trouble. Finally taking a look at this home, at the group of happy ninja dogs in the courtyard, a spiral space ripple appeared in Yibai's right eye, sucking his body into the alien space and disappearing. Yibai's pair of kaleidoscopes are made of the fusion of soil plus body genes. Although the ability is the same, the connected alien space is no longer the place where the black sky plus color cuboid stone pillar with soil is located, but his own pocket space. In the pocket space, except for the castle side, other areas can still be used. Standing in the pocket space, I didn't see his imprint, and on the ground beside him, a wooden stake broke through the soil and grew, transforming into a wooden doppelganger. He threw the wooden doppelganger out of the pocket space, and bound the anchor point of the Kamui pupil technique to the kaleidoscope eye of the wooden doppelganger, so that no matter where the wooden doppelganger went, Yibai's pocket space would also move. As soon as the wooden avatar came out, he used the Yongdun transfiguration technique, and changed from the appearance of Kakashi in the eyes of others to the pseudonym of the Ice Escape Water Moon clan of the Land of Water, who can tell me that I am male and female, and went to the Land of Water. He is going to provoke his sister, and the goal is to shine beautifully. I don't know if the shadow of the mist-hidden village in the Land of Water this year is Yakura. Considering that Terumi was only sent out of the water shadow Dukkata by the Elder Yuan Master when the 5 Shadows Conference was on the eve of the 4 Wars, and became the 5th generation of Mei Mizukage, there are still several years from that time, and it is probably the 4th generation of Mayakura who is in power. Of course, it may also be the Elder Master. The pocket dimensional space is far away from a wasteland somewhere in the castle, where Yibai released the birth of Mudu Tree Realm, and the trees grew from the ground like a tide, spreading around, turning the bear into a forest covering an area of more than 10 square kilometers. He also used the Sage Ring to create a villa in the middle of the forest as his temporary foothold. Enter the living room of the villa, sit on a comfortable sofa, perform dream building, enter the dream world, and continue your own practice. Outside, with a waterless moon, Pi Cypress doppelganger, all the way to the country of water. His image is very similar to Shui Weiwei Bai. If Shui Weiwei Bai grows to 20 years old, it will be almost like this. The long black straight hair is super long, hanging down to the calves, the skin is white and delicate and smooth, and the contours of the facial features are soft and gentle. The body is dressed in a top and skirt, and it has a Japanese style in general, but it is matched with dress style elements such as ruffles and bows. The garment top is pink, with a ribbon on the chest with a large white bow tie, and the buttons of the dress are a row of small white bow ties. The sleeves are long enough to cover your hands inside. There are orange-yellow patterns on both sleeves, and the left sleeve is a cloud that covers the moon, symbolizing hiding one's identity and living on the ground. The right sleeve is a pattern of the flower code mango and moon. A white shirt was also worn under the pink blouse. The bottom of the dress is a dark red skirt with 4 golden patterns of cherry, bamboo, red leaves, and plum to represent the 4 seasons, and a white inner skirt is set on the inside of the skirt, and a translucent inner skirt is also set on the inside of the inner skirt. The skirt is very long, dragged on the ground, and can even be partially unfolded. That's right, he's Kagayaheim Exploitatori, the fantasy township version. Women's dress, chest airport, but still beautiful. He also gave a new name to his new self, called Shui Wuyue I. Well, very neutral name, very waterless moon. This and can tell me that I am male and female, with the ice blood succession limit, no one will doubt his identity as a Shui Wuyue clan, right? In particular, the transformation technique he made was not an ordinary transformation technique, but a transformation similar to Baiju. He named this trick Transfiguration, which was essentially developed based on the Yongdun application. According to the rating of Naruto's worldview, this transformation technique can be classified into the ninjutsu category, which is much more clever than the 3-body technique that rookies can learn. There is a saying that it is called red face and bad water. Beautiful appearance is sometimes not a blessing, but a cause of trouble. No, he had just left Konoha village more than 30 kilometers away, walking in the mountains and wilderness, and suddenly encountered a mountain thief. There are 4 thieves, and when they see that someone looks beautiful and moving, they have evil intentions, not only robbing money, but also robbing color. Hehe, I actually met a water spirit girl, brothers, we are blessed today. A certain thief blocked the road, hehe, lewd laughter. Around him, 3 other mountain thieves followed, and the lust in their eyes was undisguised. This can make Yibai disgusted. His face immediately darkened. In order not to be disgusted, in his hand, instantly condensed 4 ice bitter between his fingers, and attached a thin layer of wind attribute chakra to it. Shake his hand, bitter no fierce shootout. Kuwu broke through the air at a speed of 40 meters per second, penetrating their throats before the mountain thieves could react, and the 4 were killed on the spot. The ice that pierced through the neck was unabated, shooting towards the forest, penetrating several trees in succession before losing its kinetic energy. This is the sharpness and penetration after the additional wind attribute chakra. If you simply throw out the ice bitterness, let alone penetrate several trees, inserting it into the neck of those few bandits is the limit. Yibaimu snorted coldly, and continued to walk slowly and enjoy the mountain scenery. His vocal cords have changed during the transformation, so the cold snort is also very neutral, and it is difficult to distinguish the true gender of the person who is speaking without looking at the appearance and listening to the voice. Well, he looks like this, it's easier to mislead others when he looks the opposite. The wooden doppelganger traveled all the way, and on the 10th day, he walked to the coast. If you want to go to the land of water, you need to cross the sea and go 70 nautical miles. 10 days have not replenished chakra from the body. This wooden avatar has reached the edge of dissipation. He simply took the initiative to remove the wooden doppelganger, only to see that this avatar gradually faded the color of human skin and gradually turned into a piece of wood that was equal to human height. Within a few seconds, a spatial vortex appeared next to the wood, and another wooden doppelganger in the image of Shui Wuyue I was thrown out. He straightened his collar, his hands were sealed, and an area of the sea in front of him quickly froze, and between the transformation of the form of ice, an ice sailing ship formed. The reason for the seal is that the wooden avatar does not wear the sage ring, and cannot use alchemy to simplify the steps, so it can only be sealed and released. He sets sail on an ice sailboat and targets the land of water. Episode 93. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon of the same day, Yibai's wooden doppelganger officially stepped into the territory of the land of water. There is a town nearby, the daimyofu of the country of water is in the town, and the village of Kirihide is not far from the town, which is regarded as the military base of the country of water, just like Konoha village is close to the capital city where the daimyofu of the country of fire is located, and the shadow village is essentially a military organization that protects the country. Yibai came to that town, ready to inquire about the news first, confirm whether the water shadow of the mist-hidden village is the 4th generation of Mayakura, and then make plans after making a decision. He fooled the city guard into paying taxes as a singer into entering the city, and the 2 city guards who guarded the door saw that she was a beautiful woman and directly let her go in order to make things difficult for him. Entering the city, Yibai found a hotel, and the illusion controlled the innkeeper, not only checked into the inn without spending a penny, but also asked the boss who was currently in power in Wuin village. It is not the elder Gensher agent, nor Terumi, but the 4th generation Mayakura. When the innkeeper mentioned Wuin village, his tone was obscure, and his voice was low, afraid of being heard by others. The fog in the blood mist era is faintly cruel, and even ordinary people have heard of it, so it can be seen that it is general. I remember that Momochi did not kill all the students of the same class on the day of the graduation examination of the Mist Ninja School, and also tried to assassinate the fourth generation of Mizuki Yukura, as if to end the era of blood mist, but his strength was not good, he was not an opponent of Yukura, and he had no choice but to defect. I wanted to know, Yibai did not wander around during the day, stayed in this hotel, ate a dinner in the dark, used illusion magic and shadow magic, his body merged into the shadow plane, and at a speed of 127 meters per second, he traveled towards the direction of Wuin village. The shadow plane, which is a very conceptual place, is the shadow world located under the material world. The light here is dim, and the environment is the same as the outside world, but it is more hazy and thin, as if a gust of wind can blow everything away. Shadow magic is a magic that allows the caster to blend into the shadow plane, turn into black mist, and travel. The speed is 127 meters per second. The speed can be said to be okay. The advantage is that the consumption is small, only need to pay a small amount of mana, you can make a long journey. The black mist incarnated by Yibai was moving, ignoring all obstacles in the shadow plane, and directly penetrated through. In less than 10 minutes, he successfully sneaked into the misty hidden village. He probed around the shadow plane and found that the defense here was tight, and I don't know whether it was inside or outside, maybe all of them. On the streets of the village just after nightfall, it seems that there are almost no people in the village under martial law, and there is quite a rumble. He looked at a misty ninja who was patrolling alone, and he knew that it was a dragon trap at a glance, and at this time, he was booing at the corner of the street alley. In the shadow of the ground behind him, a figure slowly floated up from the ground like a ghost. The dragon set ninja shush. The first time he turned around, he met a pair of kaleidoscopic eyes, and he was struck by illusion in an instant. Kaleidoscope-level illusion, even the fourth generation of Meijui Kage Yukura can't bear it and be controlled, not to mention this dragon set ninja, which makes him questionable. Where is Terumi's house? Yibai asked him. His house is in. Getting the address, Yibai asked him to forget about his own affairs and melt into the shadows. The dragon ninja stood in place for a few seconds of confusion before gradually returning to his senses. He didn't know it had just happened. Continue to do your own patrol mission. Can illusion delete a person's memory? Powerful illusions can naturally be, except for those inherited from Kakashi himself. Yibai's illusions are basically borrowed from D&D illusion magic and their own ninja reform, legendary magic level illusions, which are more powerful than kaleidoscope pupils. The name he just used is called forgetting, which makes the target forget recent memories, and the time of forgetting can be set by himself, generally no more than 1 hour. Walk through the shadows and come all the way to Terumi's house. Terumi's home is very lively, and there are many people. Several village elders, including Terumi and Yuancher, have a white eye, a young man with glasses, and some miscellaneous people. Coincidentally, at this time everyone gathered around and was discussing the problem of the fourth generation of Mayakura. Yukura, the water shadow, is getting more and more excessive day by day in the village, and the foundation of the village is about to be destroyed by his cruel policy. I've asked Chin to confirm with his eyes that the fourth generation is indeed controlled by illusion, and if we don't want to continue like this, we must do something. The red-haired royal sister Terumi said to everyone. This royal sister is 26 years old, and in the anime, she was 31 years old at the time of the Fourth Ninja War, and Boruto was 46 years old during the turn. Long red hair and waist, wearing a blue low-cut high-split dress, her figure is convex and upturned. Obviously a big beauty, how can she always be single? This is the unsolved mystery of Hokage. What Yibai didn't know was that the reason why the men in Wuin village avoided her like femme fatale was because those who fell in love with Xiaomei would suffer disasters within 3 months, ranging from bankruptcy to disability, and family ruin. Just like the love curse that is entrenched in Terumi's head, in fact, Terumi can't marry herself, she is also anxious, but she is destined to be single under the will of the universe. Such a group of experts underground, secretly rubbing and discussing to overthrow the fourth generation, but no one could notice Yibai lurking in the shadows in the room, and their deliberations were listened to word by someone. Yibai felt that he could show up. The discussion continued, and the temperature in the room gradually decreased. At first, everyone didn't notice much, but after a few minutes, Terumi frowned and interrupted everyone's discussion, wary of the shouts around her. Who is it? She drank this time, and everyone present was on guard at the same time. The matter they discussed was too important to divulge before the official action. Otherwise, if Yukura knew, it would almost be conceivable that this group of them would be hunted down and killed, and their respective families and relatives might be washed in blood. In the midst of everyone's vigilance, a neutral voice that could not distinguish between men and women seemed to sound from all sides of the room at the same time. Yukura and I have a feud with the heavens, you want to deal with him, how about counting me? That's right, Yi Bai didn't want to add people to his body. Guy with a hidden head, who are you? Terumi questioned while touching Qing beside him. Qing had already opened his eyes, but he had observed all around him, and found no trace of the enemy. He shook his head without a trace, signaling that the white eyes did not notice. I am Shui Wuyue I. Shui Wuyue? This surname surprised everyone present. Didn't the Shui Wuyue clan be exterminated by the order of the fourth generation as early as 15 years ago? Could it be survivors? If this is the case, perhaps you can try to win over the other party, and after the fourth generation of the emperor is gone, the Wuyin village can continue to hold the bloodline of the ice bloodstain, instead of completely losing it. Episode 94. Since you are a survivor of Shui Wuyue, please show up, we are not enemies. Terumi spoke. The air in the house became colder and colder, and gradually, the water molecules in the air formed a white frozen air, which converged into an iceman not far away. The body surface of the iceman gradually has the texture of human skin and turns into an ice doppelganger. Black long straight, top and skirt, beautiful facial features, but the people present are not very sure whether this person is male or female. No way, the Shui Wuyue family is in this tune, both men and women, they look very bad for the country and the people. The other party can use the ice blood to follow the limit, and with this and can tell that he is male and female, his Shui Wuyue identity is not doubted. Not many people suspected that the other party was from Yakura's side. After all, since the day Yakura ordered the bloodbath of all bloodstained families, it was impossible for any bloodstained ninja to stand on each other's side. Take Terumi, for example, she holds the 2 blood succession limits of melting and boiling, but she has not been exposed, and very few people know about it. That is, she is worried that she will be discovered by Yakura, and there will be no good fruit to eat at that time. The blood mist age in Wuyin village is simply a talent grave. Of course, although he did not suspect that the other party was from the Yakura side, he also lacked trust in this Shui Wuyue. The elder said, give us a reason to trust you. My mother's name is Shui Wuyuzi, you should have heard her name. Before Shui Wuyue exterminated the clan, there was indeed a girl named Z. This is still what Yi Bai saw on the timeline. Shui Wuyue Z is a shadow-level master of the Shui Wuyue clan, a former high-level of Wuyin village, a hand of ice escape, many times during the 3 wars to turn the tide, is the hero of Wuyin village, died in the bloodstained family massacre at the age of 26. When Shui Wuyuzi was still alive, she did have a daughter who was a few years old, but this daughter rarely left the house, and people outside the family only knew that Shui Wuyuzi had a husband and children, but they didn't know whether her child was male or female, and what it was called. Yi Bai disguised himself with this layer of identity, which was simply seamless. No, everyone heard that Shui Wuyue I's mother is Shui Wuyue Z, the former hero of Wuyin village, and his trust in her has increased by tens of %. Yi Bai, as a person who can know the past and see the future, lies with good reason. Unless someone can cross time and space, don't try to debunk his lies. Next, he spent 10 minutes fooling around, managed to gain the limited trust of everyone present, and agreed to let her participate in the overthrow of Shidame Yakura. The underground joint meeting continued, and the time for action was quickly set. The action was 3 days later, and on that day, Yakura would leave the village for the daimyofu, which was a great opportunity. After the meeting, many family ninjas present began to try to win over Yi Bai, Shui Wuyue. In their thoughts, this Shui is probably the last orphan of the Shui Wuyue clan. A person can't form the Shui Wuyue family, then marry the most beautiful girl in the family to him. If he is a woman, let the most handsome person in the family marry her. In this way, the Bing escape vein can be carried forward in his own family. Based on this idea, the person who wooed him really did not. Not even Terumi, trying to win him over. Heck, this is really a happy annoyance, someone shamelessly thought. In the end, he decided to stay in Terumi's house for a few days first, which made Terumi's eyes light up. But Terumi would not let down her guard, and she could see that the rest of the family did not seem to give up. After everyone left, Terumi asked Yi Bai, are you a man? Tell me honestly, did you fancy your sister? If it is, my sister will not object. Zhao Mei looks like a big bad wolf staring at the little sheep. Her female satyr-like speech made Yi Bai very shameful. When it was night, naturally nothing happened. No, something still happened. Yi Bai was arranged a room by Zhao Meiyu, and Zhao Meiyu took into account his divine latent ability that no one had noticed before, and did not send someone to monitor him in one move. She knew that even monitoring was useless, it was better to be generous. On the bed in the house, Yi Bai dissolved the doppelganger, and the body appeared replaced. He's going to do something today. The night gradually deepened, and in the beautiful bedroom, she gradually fell asleep on the bed and fell asleep. Without anyone knowing, Yi Bai fell into a dream of her, and pulled her consciousness into the deepest dream of her heart. As mentioned earlier, the illusion of magic dreams is very similar to the setting in the Inception movie, and human dreams are divided into shallow dreams and deep dreams, with 4 layers. People's thinking speed is fast, so the time of the dream will feel much faster than the reality, and the deeper the dream, the faster the feeling. For example, on the first floor, 1 hour in the outside world, 10 hours in the dream. Such as the second layer, 1 hour in the outside world, and 100 hours in dreams. The third layer, an hour in the outside world, 1,000 hours in dreams. The fourth layer, here is the deepest subconscious of the human heart. Generally speaking, people who fall into this layer of dreams have no special method, cannot wake up. Just like vegetative people, hear the outside world for an hour, dreams for 10,000 hours. There are still 6 hours left between now and dawn, and replacing 6 hours with the fourth layer of dream time is 60,000 hours. 60,000 divided by 24 equals 2,500 days, and 2,500 divided by 365 equals about 7 years. Yi Bai is ready to weave a large-scale dream to let Xiaomei experience a Zhuangzhou dream butterfly-like crossing experience. I am the dividing line I wear in my dreams. Terumi wakes up from the bedroom and sees an unfamiliar ceiling. She instantly stood up and looked around warily. The soft and comfortable bed had a wooden desk next to it, and she didn't quite understand what it was. Or that she couldn't understand many of the technological household appliances in this room. Getting out of bed, she walked to the glass mirror and was surprised to find that she had become younger, from 26 years old to 17 years old. What is this place? Am I dreaming? Or did you fall for illusion? She made a seal with both hands, drummed up the chakra in her body, and tried to lift the illusion, but falling asleep is not a simple illusion, and she can't wake up just like this. After trying all kinds of ways to break the illusion, Terumi gave up trying, and she now needed to gather intelligence to find out what had happened to her. It took her 3 days to finally determine a strange fact. Herself, maybe, probably, crossed? Episode 95. There is no doubt that this is a modern society, and the time is June 020. Terumi is located in Argakuan City, and she is a high school student at a high school in the 7th school district, and she is currently on summer vacation. At first, she thought she had fallen for illusion, or she was dreaming, but as time went on, she didn't think so much. Everything here is not like what she can imagine in her dreams, and she doesn't think anyone can weave such a place with illusion. This made her worried. Obviously she had not yet liberated the misty hidden village, but suddenly came to another world, and she couldn't rest assured over there. Sitting on a bench in the park downstairs of the school district dormitory, her eyes were a little distracted, and her expression appeared anxious and uneasy. At this time, a 17 or 18-year-old boy walked to the position next to her and sat down, and said to her, "Hades, your current expression reminds me of the girl who was pregnant out of wedlock and dumped by a scumbag in the TV series." Terumi looked at the person next to her and saw that it was a handsome boy, but the other party's appearance was very strange. Was she someone she knew in this world? But I don't have the memory of this identity in this world. In order not to be seen as flawed, her quality as a ninja went online, so she put on a disappointed expression and said, "It's a family matter. Need help?" Yi Bai asked her. "My parents are divorced, how do you think you can help?" Terumi began to add people to himself. Yi Bai. It should be said that the other party is worthy of being an excellent shadow-level ninja, and this talent for lurking in an unfamiliar environment and entering the play in seconds is simply amazing. Well, let's not talk about this. The clothes on your body haven't been changed for a few days. As your boyfriend, you can't see your girlfriend fall like this. Yi Bai also added a character to himself, saying that Xiaomei was his girlfriend, got up and took the other party's hand, and pulled her to walk outside the park. Xiaomei is very confused. This handsome man is his boyfriend? Well, for her, a single one who has been longing for love before crossing this feeling. Seem not bad? In this way, she put herself into the identity of Yi Bai's girlfriend with peace of mind, and she was not tired of it. Since you can't think of a way to go back, let's enjoy your new life now. After a morning of shopping in the mall, Yi Bai spent money to dress up Xiaomei from head to toe, and the 18-year-old red-haired Xiaomei was stunned by Yi Bai dressed up as the style of Lias Jamonri in Demon High School next door. This shape, with the aura of a shadow-level strong woman in Xiaomei, the queen is full of style and has a special temperament. Through the conversation with Yi Bai, Terumi learned Yi Bai's name and knew more about the city. She knows a little about superpower development, ability levels, the 7-15 superpowers of Gakuin City, various technological creations, and even things outside Gakuin City. Zhao Meiyu, she is a physical powerhouse in this world, but she knows her own affairs. She has all the abilities before she crosses, including chakra in her body. She is curious to convert to the superpower level of this world can be ranked in Lead 1. Yi, has your ability improved? Tentatively asked. I'm already Lead 1, and I'll go to heaven if I ascend again. How easy it is. Yi Bai said modestly. Terumi's eyes brightened after hearing this, and she said, "Show me? I want to see." Yi Bai took her hand and activated the Leave 15 superpower he set for himself in this dream, and the two disappeared in an instant, and instantly appeared in Terumi's dormitory. Terumi looked around and saw that it was her bedroom. She knew Yubai's ability, which seemed very strong to her, and it felt like a golden flash of the fourth generation of Konoha's Hokage, and it seemed that she didn't need the coordinates of the flying thunder god to teleport directly to the destination. "You're amazing." The female satyr put her arms around Yubai's neck. Yubai did not refuse. A few words are omitted here. Time flies, the years are like a shuttle, year after year. There is no dark side in this dream school city, and there is no magic side outside the city. The two graduated from high school and college, stayed in the city to work, and left the school city to travel around the world in their spare time. Terumi also passed on the chakra practice system and all the ninjutsu he had mastered to Yubai, which was called a beautiful name and passed down from family to school. Yubai learned it all, including the melting and boiling series of ninjutsu developed by Terumi. At first, Zhao Meiyu was still curious about Yubai's talent, and could easily combine different attribute chakra into her bloodstain, but over time she was relieved. Outside the dream, the sky gradually brightened. In the dream, Yubai said to Meiyu, "Hades, there is one thing I don't know whether to say or not. You say. If these 7 years are just a dream, and everything is not real, will you be angry?" Zhao Mei stared at Yubai. 7 years, this is her time in this world. The other party said this number. Obviously these words are not metaphorical. You mean really? Yubai nodded. "Who are you?" she asked. "Shui Wuyue. Well, this is actually not my real identity. My name is Yubai, and now I am what I am," Yubai said. Terumi's mouth opened wide, pushed Yubai away, and looked at him blankly. For a long time, she sighed, as if resigned to her fate. "You love me?" "Yes." "Even if you wake up?" "Yes." "What is your true identity outside? After living in this dream world for 7 years, can't you see anything?" Yubai asked rhetorically. Terumi thought about it and thought of a possibility. "You are not from my world? Yes, you can think of me as an alien, and you who went to school in the school city should know this concept. Will you leave?" "I mean leaving the ninja world. I'll take you along." I need to think about it." Episode 96. Terumi opened her eyes, saw the familiar ceiling, and knew that she had woken up from a dream. At this time, the sky outside was already dark. She got up and dressed, went to the room of Shui Wuyue next door, and did not knock on the door, directly pushed the door open and walked in. Yubai in the house had woken up, but he was still lying in the bed, lazily refusing to get up. When she saw him, she said helplessly, "Since you have told me your true identity, is it necessary to maintain this appearance?" "Okay." Yubai returned to his original appearance. Seeing the other party change back to the dream person, Terumi's cheeks blushed. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Terumi personally made a table of sumptuous food for Yubai. Considering that it was already daytime, and someone might come to visit later, Yubai reverted to the image of Shui Wuyue, and it hurt to look at Zhao Mei. Question: My boyfriend is more woman than himself, and he is still beautiful. What should I do, online, etc.? It is quite urgent. During meals. I can go with you, but you have to promise me a condition. What conditions? Help me defeat Shirdai Mayakura and train a powerful ninja to inherit the position of Mizukage. This is simple. Who do you want to cultivate? Chojuro. Nagajuro, now a 12-year-old boy, has a shy personality and often lacks self-confidence, but he is very talented and strong, and the normal trajectory line also inherits the mantle of Terumi, becoming the 6th generation of Meiji Kage. Okay, then choose him. After breakfast, Yubai gave Terumi Magical Cottage, the status of a resident. Hades, I have a gift for you. What gift? Terumi brushed the red hair in front of her forehead, her expression expectant. Not ready, but within today. Yubai thought of the ghost man Taoji no longer beheaded, and Shui Weiwei. He was ready to go out to find it later, and turn these two back to join the anti-4th generation Eye-Water Shadow Alliance of Zhao Mei. Terumi's wish is to liberate the Misty Hidden Village, and the Blood Mist era, and make the village stronger, and I believe that finding her 2 talents will definitely make her very happy. The ghost man is no longer cut, he is a powerful ninja, the strength can be 5 or 5 with Kakashi, and he has the strength of the elite upper ninja. His henchman Shui Weiwei also has the power of the upper ninja level, and is also a blood succession ninja. In the original time and space, if it were not for Shui Weiwei's gentleness and kindness that made her unable to kill the enemy, plus she still met the 2 protagonists of this world, she would not have been defeated by the 2 shinobi. For the Wuing village, where talent is scarce, it is definitely a big surprise that a peach land will not be cut off, and an ordinary Shang ninja ice escape blood-stained water without moon white, or return. During the day, Terumi still had to do it as a shinobi, and left after breakfast. Yubai uses the ability to read notes to search the whole water country from a high-latitude perspective. The search process is not difficult. Directly lock the other party when the slash is still in the fog-hidden village, accelerate the time to track its trajectory, and see it all the way to now, you can get the other party's current location. Soon found the two, no longer cut and white, recently accepted the employment of Kato, the president of the Wave Country Shipping Company. Cardo, ostensibly the president of a shipping company, actually uses the mafia and ninja to smuggle drugs and contraband in private, and he also wants to encroach on other companies and countries, and is a villain who does everything. If he doesn't cut it, he is the strongest ninja hired by him. Recently, the residents of the country of Wave, who live in dire straits, gritted their teeth to raise funds and spent a lot of money on the black market to reward the heads of cardholders to kill this guy who rode on the heads of the people and sucked blood. Cardo has been assassinated many times in the open and in secret, and he has been guarding near Cardo without beheading, and all the enemies who commit future crimes are beheaded, deterring a group of small enemies. By now, not many people dared to take on the task of assassinating Cardo. Today Cardo will go from the town to his private port, and then the two will follow, secretly. As I passed an inaccessible area, it gradually began to snow. It's summer, the snow is obviously very abnormal, and the two of them appeared on both sides of the Cardo team in an instant, reminding the owner of the car, Cardo, who signaled the team to stop. No more beheading, a white bandage tied to the body, like a mummy, his back with a beheading knife, his eyes are as vicious as a ghost, it is the kind of shape that can scare children crying at a glance. Shui Weiwei wears a white mask, black hair tied up, and a green short-sleeved kimono, everything is very neutral, and it is difficult to distinguish between men and women. Who is it? Don't shout again. But the person hiding in the secret did not answer, but shot dense dark weapons from all directions, including ice thousand books, ice shuriken, ice kuan, and attack coverage in all directions. Seeing this, Shui Weiwei directly released the ice escape secret technique magic mirror ice crystal, and pieces of mirror-like ice condensed out of thin air, shrouding the convoy in it, blocking the dark weapons shot from all directions. This move can form a killing on the inside, and can also form protection externally. Although he prevented this wave of attacks, Bai's heart was not calm. The dark weapon made of ice made him think of the same ice done as himself. Could it be that the other party was his own clan? I thought of this without chopping. A wave of dark weapon attacks ended, and from the surrounding mountains, forests, and grasses, beautiful women with pale skin and white frost and cold breath walked out, wearing pink tops and red skirts, like the legendary Snow Girl. Obviously, these are ice doppelgangers. One of the ice doppelgangers spoke softly in a neutral voice, Shui Weiwei, I know your mother, it's called Shui Wuyuan Wan, you are not the only Shui Wuyue orphan, we have the same bloodline in our bodies. Only listen to her continue. Momochi no longer cut. Many family elites in the Misty Hidden Village have secretly united, ready to overthrow the fourth generation of Mayakura. If you still think that you are a member of the Misty Hidden Village and hope to liberate the village, then join us. The Misty Hidden Village is still your home. His words are ethereal and faint, like a light breeze and rain falling on the heart, which makes people feel relaxed. Do those trash also dare to resist one day? The ghost man did not cut again, and the mocking voice came from the magic mirror ice crystal. Shiro, kill Cardo, and the others. He looks murderous and cruel to his enemies, but he always loves his village. The swish of dark weapons, the screams of Cardo and others, are endless. In less than 10 seconds, it was quiet again. Apparently, Cardo and his party died. The demon-forbidden ice crystal was lifted, and Shiro walked out of it, and behind them, there were corpses all over the ground. Yibai smiled slightly, and the surrounding ice doppelgangers were lifted one by one, turning into ice lumps and falling to the ground, shattering into ice slag, leaving only Yibai's body. Let's go, the operation for the purpose of the fourth generation will begin in 2 days. Yibai turned around and walked towards Wuin village. No longer behead, carry the decapitation knife on his back, and follow the footsteps of the other party with Shiro. Episode 97. At noon that day, Terumiai's house. Yibai, Zaibu Chop, and Bai came here through the former's time and space ninjutsu. Not long after, Xiaomei went home, and when she saw the 2 people in the family except Yibai, she was stunned and surprised, and said vigilantly, Peachland will not be cut again? How do you? Before he spoke, Yibai smiled and explained, if you don't cut Shui Weiwei, they will join the action against Yakura in 2 days. Knowing that Zai Wuxian did not come back as a traitor, but as a helper, Xiaomei breathed a sigh of relief and nodded to the 2. Welcome back, Wuin village will always be your home. No more snorting coldly, no stubble. But his murderous eyes slowed down slightly, and the words of welcome back touched the softness in his heart. Shui Weiwei couldn't see the expression because she was wearing a mask. In fact, she didn't have much affection for Wuin village, and when her mother escaped from Wuin village from chasing and killing, she hadn't been born yet. You guys wait a bit, I'll go find Elder Yuan. Terumi ran out of the house after speaking. Not long after, he came back with a gray-haired old man, and the old man saw that the ghost man would not be cut again, and the water was not white, and laughed, it's good to come back, it's good to come back, Yakura will soon be ousted, now the village is the time to hire people. He blabla said a lot, and he didn't mind not beheading the identity of the ninja at all, because Gensher knew very well that he would not behead. When the other party was still in the ninja school, Gensher had been paying attention to the other party, and also talked to him, knowing his ideals, and afterwards he could guess his consciousness and motives for killing all the students in the same class on the day of his graduation examination. But unfortunately, he was too young at that time, and his behavior was a little naive, and his behavior did not alert the fourth generation of Mayakura, but made him more intense. Kid, come with me, let's have a good chat. Gensher left Terumi's house with the secret passage that was no longer cut off. Shui Wuyue Bai was left in Jiaomi's house by Yuanshi, and he thought that Bai and I, the two Shui Wuyue, may have something to say. Shiro sat there, like an ice sculpture, neither moving nor speaking. Yi Bai stepped forward and took off her mask, and after the mask, there was a pure face, with no expression. Jiao Mei stood beside Yi Bai and looked at each other with Yi Qi. Although Shui Wuyue has an ice blood inheritance, don't put on an ice cube face, come, laugh. Yi Bai showed a big smile and showed her. Bai Obedient also showed a smile. This smile is very warm, but also very sunny and friendly. On the other side, Konoha village. Kakashi's suicide in his home caused an uproar throughout Konoha village. Is this a joke? It's easy to understand Konoha white fan Kisho Shigeru's death and suicide, but well, why did Kakashi commit suicide? It doesn't make sense at all, and I can't see the motive at all. The angry Yuan Fei refound Tuanzong, and he thought that this matter was Tuanzang's pot. Tuanzong denied it as always, but Yuan Fei seemed to believe that Tuanzong did it. Danzo, who was carrying the pot, rarely showed an innocent little look. Hinata, I really didn't do it. If it were me, wouldn't I take Kakashi's chakra eye? Yuan Fei thought about it. With the nature of the old guy Tuanzong, how could he leave the Sharingan eye on Kakashi's corpse, and it was not hidden at all. Danzo is also very concerned about this matter, staring at the Sharingan of Nishi's corpse is on the one hand, on the other hand, he does not think that Kakashi will commit suicide for no reason. Kakashi is one of Konoha's few high-end combat powers, so he died in vain, and he also thinks that Kakashi was killed by suicide instead of himself. When it comes to the safety hazards of Konoha, even the regiment has ordered the roots under their hands to comprehensively and thoroughly investigate this matter. If Kakashi can be killed, then there may be more people who will be killed. This matter must not be so calculated, the murderer must be found. 2 days later, the mist-hidden village of the Land of Water. Shirdai Mayakura led his subordinates to the town where the daimyofu of Mizunokoku was located. Among the people he led were undercover agents of the Anti-Four Generations Alliance, and on their necessary path, Terumi and the others had already laid an ambush, waiting for them to pass by. Today, the sky is overcast, rain can fall at any time, and the humid air makes the temperature seem very muggy. The dozens of people who are ambushed here are very nervous. After all, they are about to face the fourth generation of Megumi Shadow Citrus Yukura. The other party is still a three-tailed human pillar power, and the combat power cannot be ignored. Yi Bai and Jiao Mei were buried in the grass on the side of the road, and the former saw that the latter was nervous, so he comforted, "Don't worry, there is me." Terumi squinted at him and complained, "I still don't know what your true strength is." Yi Bai said triumphantly, "I know your ninjutsu, and you don't know most of my ninjutsu." It was very unpleasant to mention this Jiao Mei. At that time in the dream world, she thought that it was real, thought that she could not go back, so she passed on her ability to Yi, but everything turned out to be fake. It is also that the other party did not abandon her all the time, otherwise he had to stab him. As time passed, the sky began to rain heavily, and Yukura's convoy gradually approached. At a certain moment, the sky exploded with thunder, thunder illuminated in all directions, and when the light dimmed, a voice sounded out of thin air. "Ice magic mirror, ice crystal." Ice crystals surrounded the convoy, and the Anti-Fourth Generation Alliance in the convoy went under cover and attacked Yukura's men at the first time. Before many of Yukura's subordinates could react, they were killed by the people around them, who suddenly attacked them. This group of undercover agents did not dare to stay in place, and instantly drilled out from the gap in the ice crystal of the magic mirror. The ice crystals began to close, sealing off the inner space. In the carriage, Yukura saw this and shouted angrily, "Wait and dare to." Suddenly, the flood rushed out from the carriage, and the huge water pressure broke the magic mirror ice crystal, which was the technique of the water escape and the waterfall. Yi Bai sneered, he pinched his hands and shouted loudly, "Ice Age." The rushing flood froze instantly, freezing 4 of them, Makura in it. People hidden in the shadows jumped out and surrounded them. No more chopping. White, Blue, Terumi, and a group of dragon sets will be surrounded by the frozen Yukura. Jiao Mei reminded, "Be careful, such ice can't kill him." As she said, the ice gradually cracked, trapped with the green-haired and green-clothed baby-faced Yukura, the tailed beast chakra spread, and in less than 10 seconds, it shattered the ice, and the body turned into a giant 3-tailed Isafu form, which looked like a super-large turtle with a stony turtle shell. Everyone jumped away as soon as possible to avoid being affected by the ice that burst and shot in all directions. If it is not cut in midair, it will start to make prints, and the moment it falls to the ground, it shouts, water dragon technique. The surrounding rainwater was pooled, forming 2 water dragons 2 meters wide and 20 meters long, which bombarded the tailed beast Yukura. The rest of the people were not idle, and their respective masters of ninjutsu were used one by one. Shui Dun Water Shark Bomb. Water Rush. Water Escape Water Bomb. The Art of Dissolving Monsters. This is Terumi. Phantom Spell Steel Restraint. This is Yabai. Yibai's magic pulled the shadow substance, and the shadow substance condensed thick steel chains, shooting forward, binding the body and legs and feet of the tailed beast Yukura, and the chains took root in all directions, fixing the enemy in place. The tailed beastly Yukura has lost his mind, and he struggles frantically, breaking the roots of the chain. Episode 98. Everyone's attacks fell on Yukura, causing a wave of concentrated fire damage, especially according to Mimi's monster melting technique. Even the opponent's turtle shell was partially melted. Seeing that Yukura was about to break free, Yibai cast a spell again, Phantom Spell Ice Explosion. Around his body, one by one, the shadow ice balls with a diameter of 1 meter condensed, shot forward, hit the enemy and exploded, forming an ice pick in the sky to cause secondary damage. Tailed beast-eyed Yukura held in pain, and the struggle waned. Yibai made up a steel restraint again, firmly fixed it in place. Once the tailed beast moved, it was definitely a VIP master of the demolition office. The crowd's attacks continued, and Yibai followed the attack twice at first, but seeing that Yukura was so watery, he simply played the role of a control field, restraining Yukura actions with skills such as steel restraints, ice rays, and rainbow runes, so that everyone could better stand on the pile output. In fact, if Yibai is willing, he can sing in place for half a minute, holding a legendary level illusion system shadow spell, let alone Yukura at that time. Even if the 10 tails eat a legendary magic, they will have to be greatly damaged. In fact, what Yibai didn't know was that Yukura was not really so watery. The reason for this is that he has initially got rid of Obito's kaleidoscopic illusion control in the attack of everyone, and remembers what he has done over the years, and in discouragement and despair and self-blame, he strives to suppress the power of Mitsuo Iso, and allows everyone to attack him with all his might. He just wanted to atone for his sins with death. Now it is no longer Yukura who is rebelling against everyone, but Mio Iso. It's a pity that the 3 tails, which are getting weaker and weaker in the constant injury, have been powerless to return to the sky in the face of Yibai's restraint on him, and have been charged until death without making effective resistance. Yukura is dead, and so is Mio Iso. The latter, as a tailed beast, will be reborn in a nearby place for a period of time after death, and until Yukura, he tells everyone before he dies that he is indeed controlled, and the person who controls him is a man with a spiral mask and kaleidoscopic chakra eyes, calling himself Uchiha Madara. Receiving this news, everyone except Yibai looked at each other. In any case, after Yukura's death, the era of blood mist in Mist Hidden Village finally ended. Elder Yuanshi temporarily took charge of the internal affairs of Wuin Village, and Taudi Zaibu and Shui Weiwei were reaccepted into the Wuin family, and were registered as Elite Upper Ninja and Upper Ninja respectively. Yibai, or Mizuki Ai, was also given a household registration in the Mist Hidden Village, and in view of his relationship with Terumi, he was registered as a shadow-level ninja as the main force of the village of the current generation of the Mist Hidden Village. Genshin is most optimistic about Terumi, and intends to train her as a 5th-generation Mizukage, but Terumi refuses, saying that she will work with Mizuki Ai to cultivate a qualified and powerful shadow for the village. 2 weeks later, the rectification of Wuin Village was completed, the policy of isolation was abolished, and the village was once again open to the outside world to accept employment from all parties. Yibai and Terumi took on a task with 12 Chojuro. Mission description: inform each small country of the mist-hidden village near the Land of Water to reopen, and begin to accept tasks from all parties. Well, this is a travel task. The task is not difficult. Such a task can generally be completed with a few patience. Jiamei wants to go on vacation, so he took this task from the Elder Master through the back door. The trio's first stop is the Land of Waves. Coming to the beach, Yibai used ice to build a super luxury large-scale ice cruise ship, although it was relatively cold, but this low temperature was not an obstacle for ninjas. Looking at this ice ship, which was very out of the times, Nagajiro was stunned. It is not strange that after living in the modern world in a dream for 7 years, it is not unheard of that it is more luxurious than this cruise ship, and the specifications of the Titanic are not weaker than it. After getting on the boat, Yibai divided up an ice doppelganger and asked him to tease Nagajiro, while he himself walked into the ship with Terumi, not knowing what to do. A month passed unconsciously, and even if a few people grinded again, this task was completed. After a month of training, Shangjuro learned a lot from Yibai, although he was only 12 years old, but with what Yibai taught, as long as he could completely understand it, it was absolutely no problem to enter the shadow level. Now, it's time to go back. Late that night, inside the ice ship, Chojuro slept in a cabin bedroom. Yibai and Terumi stood on the deck. Hades, take you somewhere. In front of Yibai, space began to distort, gradually forming a space-time cave that connected the pocket space. It's night on this side, and it's really a sunny day on the other side of the cave. Xiaomei felt new and followed Yibai into it. When I came here and looked around, I found that it was a forest, and not far away, there was a modern villa. Here it is? She asked. This is my pocket space, the area is much larger than the ninja world. Go, advanced villa, I'll refine a stand-in for you. Entering the villa, Yibai refined an alchemy doll out of thin air under the curious gaze of Xiaomei. The doll looks exactly the same as Terumi, who stepped forward and touched it with novelty. From the appearance alone, this puppet stand-in is not the slightest difference from her. Yibai took a shared chair from the castle in the time stationary area and placed it in the villa living room, and he said to Meiyu, "Come, lie down on this chair, and then connect your stand-in." As Mei did it, the chair was magical, and as soon as I lay down, I naturally knew the function and usage of the chair, and quickly adapted to it and controlled the doll. The doll stood up, felt for a while, and said, "It feels the same as her own body, except that she does not have chakra, and needs the body on the chair to supply. You can control it to cultivate chakra, and if you count your own, you will have 2 chakra sources." Yibai introduced, "The longer you control her, the puppet will gradually learn your behavior habits, and in the end, even if you do not control it, she will imitate your behavior relatively perfectly, and it will not be easy to see flaws." What is it? S-class super doppelganger? Terumi thought it was incredible. Much stronger than that. Yibai shrugged, "Even if you follow me out of the ninja realm, you can control it in another world." As soon as she heard it, she became happy, and she had been worried about what to do if she left this world and felt homesick, but now it seems that this is not a problem at all. Terumi's stand-in followed Nagajiro back, and Mizuki-I completely disappeared from the world that day. In order to have more time to play, Terumi usually separates a water body to lie on a shared chair to control the doll. And her body was changed by Yibai with Yongdun transfiguration. The image refers to the female Emperor Han Kuk in CX King, and she dresses similarly. After changing her image, she followed Yibai everywhere. Episode 99. In the territory of the Land of Wind, the ruins of Lulan. Yibai and Terumi descended from the sky. The opposition dispersed, and according to the beauty of the place, he said, "This place looks deserted for a long time, shall we come here to dig for treasure?" Yibai took her hand and walked towards the ruins of Lulan City Castle, and said as she walked, "This place is called Lulan, originally a prosperous desert city, which is said to have been destroyed at the end of the Third Ninja World War. Directly below the royal palace in the city, there is a place where dragon veins converge. To put it bluntly, it is a massive source of chakra. I heard that the witch of the ghost country has sealed the evil ray with a dragon vein, such a huge foreign chakra source. It is not easy to use. What are you going to do with it?" Terumi asked him. "Who said that it is not good to be used? You will be clear later." They walked into the palace and found a passage to the underground, and the passage was sealed, but this was difficult for the two of them, and a single earth ninjutsu could force a thick stone wall into an entrance large enough for 2 people to pass. The internal light was dim. Yibai waved his hand to cast a spell, and balls of light appeared out of thin air, following the two of them forward and floating around. The light dispelled the darkness of the passage, making the surrounding area as bright as day. The stone path spiraling down seems to have no end, and if you keep walking, you can't help but wonder if you will reach the abyss of hell. Hades, do you want to go back and take a look? Past? You mean time travel? Do you have a time machine? Just say if you want to. Think, if possible, I hope to change the past, completely kill the Blood Mist era, and arrest the real culprit behind the scenes, Uchiha. Good ambition. Let's not talk about whether the spiral mask man mentioned by Shidemu before he died is really Uchiha Madara. Even if it is, can you catch him? Isn't there still you? It's best not to change the past. It doesn't matter if I'm an outsider, but you're a person of this world, and changing the butterfly effect formed by the past is likely to lead to worse results. Such as? For example, the black hand behind the scenes does not want to play. You want to overturn the chessboard, and directly open a big one in your village. When the village is gone, you don't have to worry about the problems of the Blood Mist era. If the person behind the scenes is really Uchiha, believe me, he has this ability. Yibai is talking nonsense. Terumi frowned for a long time and sighed. What era do you want to go to? Yibai did not directly answer her question. Instead, he asked rhetorically, have you heard of the legend of the goddess of the Lord? Terumi nodded. The princess of a certain country stole food, calmed the war, and finally became ambitious because of her strength, turned into a cruel ghost, and caused the people to have a poor life. What she said is indeed one of the versions of the legend of the goddess circulating in the world. The legend, passed around, with the passage of time, more and more crooked, until in the end there is no resemblance to the correct history. Let's go to that era of legends. Say. Terumi looked at him with a strange expression. You shouldn't go and grab that princess's fruit, right? Yibai rolled his eyes. Do you think I look like someone who needs that kind of thing? During the chat, the two finally walked the stone staircase that spiraled down. As far as the eye can see, it is an extremely spacious place. On the left and right sides is the abyss. There is a stone bridge leading to the central altar. On the altar, there is a kunai inserted by the flying thunder god combined with the sealing technique, sealing the violent dragon vein energy below the abyss. Yibai jumped on the wall hanging next to him, and stepped on it steadily, just like Mayu, and also stepped on the wall. The two climbed the wall with their feet and walked step by step towards the bottom of the abyss. You say what happens when a person falls into the dragon vein? Zhao Mei is more curious about this. She can already feel that the terrifying amount of chakra below the abyss. This level of chakra, even the tailed beast is not comparable. Yibai was also curious about this question, and after thinking about it, he was uncertain. It may be assimilated by the violent chakra, it may be supported by the chakra of the irrigation, and it may be a swim in the chakra ocean. These are all possible. The two walked down for half an hour before they finally saw the lake below that had liquefied from chakra's energy state to a calm lake. Although the lake is calm, anyone with a little eye can feel how violent that thing is, and such a power is really difficult to use without technology. The two jumped to a raised reef on the lake below, where the lake could be seen connected to the underground water channel, or it was the earth vein itself, and if the ninja planet was compared to a living being, the earth vein was his meridian. Coming here, the sage ring on Yubai's right index finger shot out a diffuse red light against the dragon vein, and the red light formed a not very complicated alchemy array pattern on the surface of the dragon vein lake. At the same time, alchemy was launched. The calm lake began to mist and float towards the sky above the magic array, and a transparent colored crystal was gathered, initially smaller than a grain of rice, but as the dragon vein energy was continuously extracted, this transparent colored crystal became larger at a speed visible to the naked eye. The shore of the Dragon Pulse Lake began to slowly descend. Terumi looked amazed. The energy crystals solidified by a huge chakra, if used to arrange the enchantment, are really perfect materials. Yibai complained, that's too wasteful. So what are your opinions? The chakra crystal refined by the dragon vein is not at all violent as the dragon vein itself, but it is very stable, and any ninja can absorb and use it. A chakra crystal the size of a fingernail, its chakra amount is no less than a tailed beast, casually put a little on the body, is a disposable tailed beast level chakra source. Yibai's way of refining chakra crystal is very similar to refining the philosopher's stone, although the two are not the same thing, they can both replenish the energy of the holder. Terumi listened, looking at the chakra crystal above the magic array that was already the size of a fist, and his eyes began to shine. If a person can have a tailed beast level chakra, then all kinds of large-scale ninjutsu can be regardless of their own consumption, when the regular skills are released. If you can create a large explosion of water ninjutsu in the sea, this level of ninjutsu is supplemented by a massive amount of chakra, and it can flood an entire large city with one move. Terumi itself will have this A's water ninjutsu, but due to its own chakra problem, the amount of water produced is not very exaggerated. Therefore, don't think that the original purpose of Mu-dun is awesome, but any shadow-level ninja, as long as he has the almost infinite chakra of the first generation, can use exaggerated ninjutsu. Episode 100. In 5 hours, the dragon veins under the Lulan ruins were drained. And he harvested 10 colorless chakra crystals, the size of a basin. Yibai estimated that the amount of chakra contained in these 10 chakra crystals was enough to be worth 110 taels. 10 crystals were moved by the two to the pocket space villa. Standing by the villa, Terumi put her hand on a chakra crystal, feeling the crystal's complement to her chakra. It is indeed not violent, it will not be infusion by chakra when touched, and only if its own chakra is consumed, it will replenish itself, not the perfusion that exceeds the limit of its own body. Zhao Mei could clearly feel how exaggerated and massive the crystal she touched was, and if it was converted into electricity, it would be enough to power an entire city for 20 years. Hades, it's time for us to go. Oh. She reluctantly let go of her hand and came to the outside of time and space with Yibai again. Seeing her like this, Yibai said, funny, these chakra crystals are placed here, you can use them whenever you want, don't look at them. I just wanted to make some accessories out of it for my avatars outside and the water bodies on the shared chairs, so they wouldn't lack chakra. Terumi said with a grin, and then changed his tone, how do we start? Yibai turned off the time-space cave, took Zhao Meiyu's hand, and said, give me 10 seconds to activate the ability. He closed his eyes and activated the read teleport. I haven't introduced the word reading much before, so let's briefly introduce it here. When we play a game, whether we enter the game or load the map, we will read the data on the hard disk, and a progress bar will be displayed, which is the reading bar. Some online games, such as World of Warcraft, also display a progress bar that sings the time when the skill is released, commonly known as the reading bar. At this time, Yibai's consciousness was in a 6-dimensional space, looking towards the past, the 3-World War period, the World War II period, the First World War period, the Warring States period, the Ninja Sect period, the Divine Tree era, and there was no primitive period of the Divine Tree. Once here, Yibai launched a teleportation. He and Terumi, the two of them, gradually thinned and finally disappeared. Terumi only felt a flower in front of him, and when he could see again, the surrounding environment had turned into a wilderness. It's time to stop. Yibai let go of her hand and smiled. Terumi looked around. How many years ago is this? Probably more than 1,000 years ago. Before Yibai finished speaking, a shadow suddenly enveloped the two, and when they looked up, a meteor dragging a long fire tail cut through the sky and fell towards the two not far away. Ah, meteorite. Terumi's eyes widened. It's not a meteorite, it's a tree. The meteorite fell to the surface, the roar was deafening, and the shockwave was on. Yibai opened his up position and protected himself and Terumi. The shockwave lasted for several seconds, kicking up dust and visibility of less than 10 meters. When the dust cleared, a crater appeared ahead. The two stepped forward and saw a sapling appear in the pit. The sapling absorbed the earth's nutrients and grew rapidly, and in less than 5 minutes, it grew into a towering tree that was 100 meters tall, lush and green, and the shadow of the canopy even shrouded a large area. I believe that people thousands of kilometers away can also notice the movement here, and it is estimated that it will not be long before someone will come here to investigate. Suddenly, where the two were standing, the ground shook, the two sensed the danger, and at the same time jumped away from the place, and several divine roots broke out and attacked the two. Terumi snorted coldly, pinched his hands, and spit out high-temperature magma in his mouth, burning the branches of the attacking vines. Yibai looked in the direction of the divine tree and spoke loudly, "The people in the tree, can you show up?" Yibai knew that before Dadamu Kagaya made the chakra of the divine tree, although he had a pair of white eyes, he could also release the white eye version of the repulsive attack, but he was actually very weak. This is true for both the TV version and the manga version. For example, in the T version, she is pregnant and chased by a group of ordinary people, which is in the future, any ninja above the middle ninja. It is impossible to be chased by a group of people who do not have chakra and cannot be ninjutsu, and counter-killing is the basic exercise. Therefore, Yibai speculated that at this time, Dadamu Kagaya did not have much combat power. The divine art spreads out a branch, and the branch form transforms into a wooden doppelganger. Her long white hair is comparable to her height, she is dressed in a white robe, her skin is white like paper, and she has 2 red dots between her eyebrows. She looks beautiful. That is, white eyes. Xiao Mei saw the woman from a distance. She was very surprised. She now thought, who is this woman? Guardian of the divine tree? There is no such person in the legend. Yibai reminded in a low voice, she should be the legendary one, and she can be regarded as the ancestor of chakra, the source of all ninja bloodlines. Terumi suddenly realized. Yibai and Terumi jumped off the crater with the divine tree and walked towards the woman. Before getting closer, Yibai introduced himself. My name is Yibai, she is my wife Xiao Mei. Who are you? Although you know the identity of the other party, it is still necessary to ask, otherwise you will not be surprised by calling someone's name. Dadamu Kagaya's face was expressionless, and he spoke faintly, and his voice was ethereal. The concubine is Dadamu Kagaya, and she came here only to plant trees. I see in both of you the power of my people, especially you, and your eyes make me think of my people. I want to know where your strength comes from. She looked into Yibai's eyes. Since he was called to break his eyes, Yibai did not hide it. His eyes, black eyes, turned into 3 Goyu rotating riding wheel eyes, and between the Goyu rotations, forming an eternal kaleidoscope riding wheel eye in the shape of a triangular sickle. Xiao Mei had long known that Yibai had these eyes, and did not make a fuss, but Dadamu Kagaya frowned. Atsuki, I've heard of this surname. Yibai began to flicker. This planet is a poor backcountry compared to your side. You come here to plant a divine tree, presumably it is not good there. I want to negotiate a condition with you.